Hey everyone, today is an exciting day because I have officially been on YouTube now for an entire year. And even though I've only been monetized for 5 of those months, it has been quite a journey, and I wanted to be able to share just what that's been like for me, and even show you just some of what it looks like behind the scenes in my analytics as well. But to just start off with, I think honestly with a year on YouTube, you don't really understand, like I didn't even understand outside of doing this, just the amount of work that it takes to actually run a YouTube channel. And for the most part, yes, I'm posting more often than maybe some other people are. I started off posting almost every single day, and now I'm at about 3 days a week. But my videos aren't as intense as some of the other videos that are being made out there. There's not as much editing maybe as some other people are doing, or as much planning that goes into coming up with ideas or whatever, since most of my stuff is covers or guitar lessons and things like that. So even though I'm not maybe creating a whole idea of a video and then executing that and editing it, there's still a lot of work that goes into even just doing covers and recording the stuff that I'm recording now. So that's just one side of it. Like, it's a lot more work than you probably expect. The next thing is there's just highs and lows. Like, sometimes they're extreme highs where you can see people starting to subscribe, you see people watching your videos. Maybe you have a few videos that do better, they outperform the other ones on your channel, and that's great, but that's not always the case. So you have these like really high points where you're like, yes, things are taking off, this is really great. And then you have other low points where the views aren't coming in. You're not getting people commenting on your videos. You've asked, or you've sent out like a call to action to do something, like you write in your comment section, let me know something about this video or whatever, and nobody responds to it. And that those times can be a bit discouraging. So there's lots of times even throughout the past year that I've thought, maybe I should just quit doing this, because it's a lot of work. It's not always that enjoyable, but you have to really get yourself in the mindset of pushing yourself through those low points, and reminding yourself of why you were doing it in the first place. And for me, that is to be able to share videos with all of you guys who are watching, and especially from like a Christian perspective, being able to worship with other people through these videos is a big thing for me. So that's something that I have to constantly remind myself, especially in those lower points, of the purpose of even doing this. The last section, which kind of ties into the second one, is about the monetary side. And for some people on YouTube, they're getting the views and they're making a living. They're making a salary on YouTube just putting up videos, right? But that is not necessarily the case for someone who's just starting out. Like for myself, I've been monetized for 5 months, which is great, but it's not like it's tons of money that's coming in. I think it's one of those perceptions that people have that you're going to be able to make money if you can put videos on the internet, but that's not necessarily true. And again, you have to remind yourself, like, what is this for? I would love to be able to have my channel just fully fund me, like a year's salary, and be able to work on doing this with some sort of monetary compensation from ads that are being watched. But that was never the purpose of me starting this channel. So I have to remind myself of why that is. And I think for those people who are out there just to make money, that's when you end up having a lot of those, clickbait thumbnails and just videos that don't go anywhere, and they're a little bit disappointing. But I want to keep my content true to what it's supposed to be, even if I'm not making, big money doing it. So that's for me just something I have to consistently remind myself. Like, I'm doing this to be able to share in singing these songs with fellow believers out there, and that's what I have to focus on what it is. And if the Lord wants to monetarily bless me through this opportunity, then great. But if He doesn't, then that's okay too. I just need to remind myself why I'm doing this. So that's just something I wanted to put out there as far as my own journey in this so far. And for any of you who maybe have just started off a channel, or maybe you're thinking of starting a channel, like, you really have to prepare yourself that it can be very difficult at times to do this, right? And the idea of this really fulfilling channel, like, that can be great and it could happen, but there's also the chance that this is just not the path for you, right? And I have to even consider that myself. Maybe over some time I have to decide whether this is something I can continue to pursue, and then I got to make that decision when I hit that crossroad. But it has to be something that you are being realistic with when you're getting into. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for a lot of disappointment if that doesn't happen. But we'll talk about just a few other things in relation to these topics as well when we jump into the analytics. So we'll do that right now. I'm going to jump over here into my analytics. You can see that I've got this set to the last 365 days because it's been a year since I started. Just as in terms of views, yes, it's almost 200,000 views, which seems really great. But you can see just where this, you get these highs and lows. It started off pretty low through the first couple months, really, and then started to pick up when we're getting into that Christmas season. That was a good time for me on my channel. Just a lot of views during that period of time that I wasn't expecting, and that was very helpful. And then you end up hitting this portion around March that really picked up. Like there's just a huge spike here compared to the rest of it. And that was largely from one video, which we'll take a look at in a second, but then it comes back down, right? So this is one of those peaks in my time of doing YouTube, and then you have this lull after it kind of comes down. And yeah, sure, it doesn't come down as far as maybe it was before, except maybe in this little valley here. But realistically, it's definitely come down from this portion, right? If this was the entire time that I did YouTube, then this would be the prime time of me doing it, right? And then everything else around it is like, well, that's the peak. It's past the peak now of my channel. So I have to consider that, that may be the truth for my channel even moving forward. I may never get to that point again, or it could end up picking up in the future, and this could end up being one of the lower points, at that point in time. But I enjoyed this a lot, but I had to be realistic again once I came out of it. So just again, something to consider if you're looking to do this kind of thing for yourself. Watch time, you can see that I'm just over 5,500 hours. Subscribers, I am nearly at 1,600 subscribers. This is a few subscribers away, which is really great. And then estimated revenue, you can see over basically those 5 months that I've been monetized, I have an estimated revenue of $132, which isn't, the most crazy amount of money, but it's still good. Like there's other ways that people try and make money on the internet that just, they're not very good, right? It's like $5 a day or whatever it is. And in this case, this is actually, it's pretty nice. So if you look at this estimated revenue, you can see that the first day I was making anything was April 17th. And then that's been continuing on. And sure, there's some peaks when I've had just generous donations from people who have watched my videos. But for the most part, it's been not, huge amounts of money. It's been under $1 for a lot of days going through that period of time. And I have to be okay with that. I have to be okay because, again, the purpose isn't this, get rich scheme of being on YouTube, but it is to be able to share these videos with other people. So that's just where that's at as far as revenue. If you were curious over that 5-month period, what that looks like for a channel like mine, $132 approximately for me. Now, if we're looking at why this happened, because in all honesty, and I've said this to other people before, I would probably be getting monetized right now at this point in time if it wasn't for this one video. And you can see this video right here, which was the first guitar video I put out, ended up getting 35,000 views, which is not common for my channel. And most of those views, we'll take a closer look at this here, most of those views actually came in this first little while after the video went up. So you can see the first day it went up was March 11th, and then by April 11th, it was already at 32,000 views, and then it basically didn't really go from anywhere in that point in time. But from my monetized or my earnings that the first day I was earning money was on April 17th. So this one video pretty much pushed all of that requirements that I needed to get monetized. Even with watch time, you can see it's basically equal around that same amount of time. The 1,000 hours came in on this video alone, and 904 subscribers, so almost all the subscribers I needed also came in around that period of time. So when we're looking at this particular video, this really was the only requirement I needed out of all my videos to be monetized. If this video hadn't have happened on my channel, I think I would still I may just be getting monetized at this point in time. So all of this initial earnings that we're seeing here on this page of $132, I would say is almost bonus because of that video. Like it's definitely, this is an abnormality on my channel, this video here. And if it had not happened, then even this $132 would not be here yet. That's the way that I see it. So I'm grateful that this video did well. I hope that in the future that there's other videos like this that also do well. But I'm also just like, I'm okay with a slow burn. I'm okay just working my way into this at a good pace. That's something I can maintain, but also something that's going to get people on board, subscribing, watching, who want to be here and who are going to be here for the long run with me. So something like this can be good. But realistically, I think when you actually have subscribers leave your channel, it's probably a lot of these subscribers that came in at that period of time. Like you can see there's days where it's got negative subscribers. 2 subscribers left on June 8th. And then you have, -1 over there. And then -3 on July 11th. So you have these days where you've actually got negative subscribers, at least for my channel. Here, really close to right now, September 11th, another 2 left the channel, right? So you've got these days where these subscribers leave, but that's because they weren't really invested. They watched maybe that one video, and then they decided afterwards, well, that's not all of the content that's on this channel, so I'm just going to leave because I don't want to see all this other random content. And that's okay, right? I understand that my channel is not for everyone, and there are going to be people who are going to leave. And maybe it's because they came in on that particular video, they were part of those 900 people that came in, and then they decide later on that they want to leave. But that's because that video picked up really quick, and the people who came in at that period of time, maybe they weren't people who are going to stick with me for the long run. So that slow burn is going to get some people in who are going to be more willing to stick in that longer period of time, which is really what I am looking for. And there are other people who probably watched that video who maybe did like the other videos, which is great. Again, like they're going to stick through and they're going to want to see the other content that's going on, and I really appreciate that. But that's not going to be everyone. Some people are going to, again, just see that and jump on board, and then they're going to realize later that, this isn't really the channel for them. I have to accept that, and I'm okay with that at this point in time for that to happen. I think there have been other good videos on my channel. This was an early one that was part of that Christmas push. That ended up having 5,000. This video here is actually one that keeps getting views, even more so than that initial one that picked up really well. And this was another guitar video. You can see that this continues to ramp up over time. Even the estimated revenue is higher than that other video, and still 100 subscribers on this one. So it's been a really good performing video for me, at least. So I appreciate having that one as well. But again, it's not most of the videos on my channel. You can see that this now jumps into a bunch of shorts, which usually get more views anyway. And most of my other videos are way down on this list as far as views. So it's not typical for me to get that many views on my videos. This one here was just under 1,000. That's the next full length video that actually shows up outside of shorts from those first 3 videos that are realistically what I would consider outlying high performing videos on my channel. So that's just to take a look at that there and kind of understand that not every video is going to be a big hit with your viewers, and that's okay. But when you get them, it's an exciting time, and it's good to have a few of those just to continue to push your excitement in doing this and enjoy being able to make these particular videos. So one thing I actually learned recently that I didn't know before this, and it was actually a comment that someone had, a question that someone had for me in one of my videos, was how much that I make per ad on my channel, right? On average, how much do I make? I don't know. I got to figure out how to look this up. So you would think that you'd have to go through this estimated revenue tab, but that's not true. You actually have to go to this revenue tab up here on the top. And if you click on that, you've got your estimated revenue. Again, we're still set to a year. And if you click see more on this page, it opens up this window here that actually gives you a lot of other information that you don't get from other spots in your analytics. And 2 of the things to really point out here are your RPM and your CPM, and that's what this question that I was asked had to do with. Now your CPM is the actual cost of running ads, so it'll show you per video the approximate cost of running an ad per 1,000 views to the actual company that's paying for these ads. And then you have your RPM, which is basically how much you are making off of every 1,000 ads of watched time on your channel. So you can see here that some of them are much higher than other ones depending on what ads are being played for your channel itself. So this is good information to look just if you are curious about it and you want to know what your RPM or your CPM is on your channel. That's how you find it. But I had to actually look that up to figure it out because I didn't know when I was asked the question, but that is where it is. Then you also have these other options of just seeing how much revenues come in. So you can actually see that my revenue's gone down since those first couple months. So those first 3 months, April, May, June, it was over $30 for each of those, and then it drops down significantly after that. And that's just because the views have been lower recently for me in the past 2 months. And you know why that is specifically, I couldn't tell you right now. Maybe my videos have just been less interesting to people, but it's just one of those things that's part of the process, right? Your views go up and down, your revenue goes up and down, and especially right now because I'm still a small channel, there's a lot less consistency to that, I think, than, you know, you have a big channel, you may have millions of views per month, so 10,000 views different is not a big deal. Whereas if I got 10,000 views in a month, it would be like, that's an exciting month to have. So it's all a matter of perspective as far as what you're actually seeing on your channel and what your channel is accomplishing, that you just have to consider. It's not the same for every channel out there, and you can't always look at the bigger channels and make that comparison. So that's why I hope a video like this will help you if you're a smaller channel to just have a different perspective on what a channel that's of my size with, you know, again, about 1,600 subscribers, what that looks like as far as revenue and views and all that in a few months from being monetized. So my hope is, as things continue to go in the future, that I will continue to see a steady increase of people who are enjoying my videos and watching them with me. But I don't know. I have no idea how that's going to go or what that's going to look like. And again, I'll try and make these videos about every 6 months to give you an update. But as of right now, that's sort of what the first year has been like for me. It's been, for the most part, an enjoyable year of making videos. But realistically, if it is staying at kind of the same place it is right now, it's probably not something that I can continue to do forever. But again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, and I'll let you know as time goes on. But for right now, this is where we're at. I think we're at a good place as the channel continues to grow steadily, and then we'll just see how everything falls into place over the next 6 months or so before the next one of these updates. So I hope that you've enjoyed this, that it's kind of given you some insight into what I've seen through my channel. And if you have any questions, like, please let me know. Even if there's stuff that I didn't show you that you're interested in, that I can either tell you about through the comments or show you in the next video that I do like this, then I'd be happy to do that. So please let me know, and I'll take a look into that for you as well. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you especially who are constantly watching my videos, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And as always, love you guys.